Banque Saudi Fransi's chief economist, John Sfakianakis. So I guess you're pretty bearish. You're not very optimistic about the prospects for Greece's economy or indeed their ability to meet their targets. What is behind this forecast of yours?
Well, it's nice to see you, but I think in general the forecasts that the government put out were very optimistic. The economy is still contracting, there is high unemployment and rising unemployment, and there is the issue of what are they going to do now. They haven't been able to raise their revenues that they announced they will. And at the same time, they have a very disgruntled society, which is getting fed up not with the government alone, but with the whole political system.
Yeah.
And on top of it, privatization and the proceeds that they're expecting to get, I think they're not going to be there, because out of the entire privatization process that Greece underwent during the previous years and decade, amassed about 9 billion euros. So right now, what valuation are you going to get for certain of these state-owned companies?
So, and you were saying that they haven't raised the revenues that they pledged to. Why is that?
Well, because the taxation system is destructive. First of all, everybody still evades the tax system. And secondly, as they have been raising taxes, companies have been falling and shutting down. So we have record number of shutting down companies right now in Greece, and that's a major concern.
It's that dilemma of austerity versus growth. But they are saying that they want to crack down on tax evaders, and that once they do that, they will start bringing in more money.
Hopefully, but this is, I think, a generational issue. It's going to take a very long time.
How long do you think?
Well, I don't think it's going to be fixed in 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
And if you have the private sector, which is continually contracting, I think this is not helping on the tax revenue side. And then they're saying that incentives are going to be lowered. But still, that's a big issue. On top of it, you have the trade unions, which are extremely powerful in Greece, and they're very anti-Papandreou. So if Papandreou cannot make it, then I think very few other personalities can make it in Greece.
So then, John, with all this in mind, you know, we're waiting for the EU-IMF review of Greece's spending cuts, their privatization or asset sales. What are your expectations of that report?
Well, they're going to support Greece because right now it is a systemic threat. What the Greeks don't realize is that at some point the EU is going to be fed up with the Greeks, and they're going to tell them, well, go your way and we will continue without systemically supporting you at some point.
Now I was speaking to a member of the opposition party in Greece, New Democracy, and he was saying that actually, you know, lower taxes, structural changes, asset sales will be enough to kickstart the economy. What do you make of that argument?
Well,
I know you would disagree with it, but tell me more about the obstacles this poses for the government and the implications for that second bailout package that they're trying to get.
Well, it's not easy. First of all, they're saying this because at one point they want to be the incumbents in Greece, so the opposition will say anything. But they also have a credibility problem and deficit problem because they have been lying for many years. So they cannot say that they have the recipe right because they ruled Greece for 5.5 years. So lowering taxes is not really the only solution. Certainly it is an issue. What Greece has to do is become competitive because Greece doesn't produce anything. But the primary issue is that if they don't fix the deficit and they don't lower the amount of public sector employees they have 6 times more public sector employees than Sweden. And Sweden's population is 20% lower than that of Greece. So if Greece doesn't have at least the amount of people they have in the public sector, they have a problem. But there the key is the unions, and they cannot control the unions.
And this is precisely the problem. I mean, this brings us right back round to the point that you mentioned, that you alluded to, political unrest. Is this going to get worse? Are we going to see widespread protest?
Yes, definitely. I think that if anybody thinks that, you know, the EU is saying that they need consensus, they should forget about the consensus because Greece is being divided right now. The political system is being divided and there is a huge credibility deficit. I won't be surprised if people are gathering in front of Parliament and at some point they go after the politicians. And you see that in certain instances in the past few days.
Thank you so much. Great to get your thoughts, your analysis, and meet you in person here in the studio all the way from Saudi Arabia. John Sfakianakis, thank you so much.